Hello everybody, and welcome back to Ethel Plays Go. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video. Once again, we're on my Road to 1 Dawn series, and today we have me as a 16Q. I think I'm going to go like 1Q at a time, just so that the series doesn't last forever. But at the same time, I might do another 16Q one because this game is pretty short. But at the same time, I'm dealing today with one of these aggressive players, so I know that this video is going to be pretty popular. So let's take a look. I think like aggressive players are always difficult to know how to deal with because there's no there is a theory behind how they play, but it's if you're not aware of what that theory is, and most of the time it is just vibes, like it's just so difficult to understand what to do. So okay, I'm playing white. Black plays these splitting moves. Thank goodness, because everybody has been playing on the sides and like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make the big Moyo game. So none of this. So I'm happy about this. So here I attach, and I think like in the before days, this would be considered a bad move. It's still a bit of not great because the idea with this attachment is to, you're like, oh, my stone is weak. I'm going to make it strong. Like remember when you attach, you're like it's like you're punching silly putty, and then it becomes solid. So your opponent becomes solid, and you become solid. But the reason why this isn't so bad is because basically like it's not really over concentrated, but the idea is that if you attach, I think like the issue is that this move here is a long what was it? Large knight's enclosure. And so white actually gains quite a lot of territory from just leaning on them like this. If you remember in the previous game, I mentioned about how if you have these small knight's enclosures like here, then you can play this shoulder hit basically. And that's a similar kind of idea where you're pressing on them, but here because the white is already firmly taking the territory, it's not like there was a way to invade. And so the idea is that white is able to make a strong position relatively easily. But here it's different because there were invasion points. This isn't territory yet. And so this isn't really over concentrated as a result. So the way I use this, this is called Tawari analysis, where you change the move order for the stones to see if they still stay coherent. So it's as if we had 1 and 2, which we had normally, and then white tries to play 3 to enclose, and then black plays 4 to attach. Then we Hane, counter Hane, and then descend. This descending at 7 is perhaps a little bit slow, because, I mean, I guess, yeah, it's not literally what happened, but here you can imagine doing the Satari and then playing over here. And then here, white is able to expand, and meanwhile, this stone looks very, very close to white's 2 stones here. You would much rather have this stone over here. So this is a little bit bad for black. So the point is that white misses this opportunity and black can play 8. So, okay, 2 is maybe still a little bit misplaced. You might prefer it at d9, or you might prefer it somewhere else. But in theory, like this, I think like with 7, white misses a bit of an opportunity, and maybe with 2, it's a bit awkward. So, all this is to say is that it's a bit of an even position. It's okay. But yeah, it's important to know what you're doing when you're making positions like this. So here, now you can see aggressive players. Yeah, they'll play where they want. So here, there's this wedge, and I think I play okay here by playing this Atari. I think like as a stronger player now, I'm like, can I play this? But yeah, maybe maybe not. Like it's challenging. So here playing on the other side is great, but I shouldn't extend. So where I think like the rule of 5 will be very useful for this game. So we can see here that these 2 stones have 4 liberties, and these stones have 3 liberties. So, but I think like beyond that, the issue is more that how does white plan to deal with this cut? And okay, black cuts now, and if you try and descend this way, then you can, but there's this Atari, and then coming on the outside here, or maybe more like this, you can get more liberties this way, so I think it's fine. But yeah, this is a little bit messy. So the point is that if you're playing against an aggressive player, just play more solidly, even maybe more solidly than you normally would. It's worthwhile. So, because especially if you play a very calm game, aggressive players will really freak out, and then they'll start really overplaying. And if you have played strong shape already, then they'll freak out into your strong shape, and then you're just going to destroy them. So that's basically how you deal with that. For this cut, it's also worth mentioning right here that you can just play a Satari and cut through. So once again, yeah, super broken shape. And here, black even has to respond. I mean, if not, then there's this ladder. So yeah, they have to respond right now. And then yeah, maybe you can play in this direction. So this is really good for white. Black is basically playing too aggressively. They're an aggressive players. This is what they do. Here I capture, and there's this Hane, and here I connect. But once again, whenever you save a stone, consider what happens if your opponent plays there. So for instance, if we play over here, say eventually black Tanukis, this is not a good time because this is only 4 liberties on this group. If black captures, and white can just play here, and nothing's really materially changed. So yeah, just consider the value of the stone before doing anything. So, okay, what happens now? I connect, they try and surround me, and then I Tanuki, but I can just keep playing over here. That's no problem. But okay, I Tanuki, and they play once, and then play over here. Here we can just Han. Actually, yeah, I did this exactly the right way. So Hani and then connect. This is great. Nothing wrong with this. And then what I would say here is just don't respond to this. You know, just descend. And the idea is if black captures, then I mean, for a first, just like make strong shape and not worry about it. But what else? I mean, that's basically the idea. So here I connect, which I don't really need to, and then black plays over here. And what I would say is just make sure to keep black surrounded. Like, you want to keep this the more you can surround them, the more you stretch out to the rest of the board. And that's useful in terms of influence. But here I Tanuki, and this would allow black to get this. So it's as if we somehow had like this wedge, and black was able to play the Atari and then extend. So that's a bit nice for black. I mean, that didn't have to happen. So here, black plays this invasion, and if black plays anywhere between your stones, this is once again this is in the lessons in the fundamentals of Go by Kageyama. You'll just want to connect like this. So just keep the stones connected, and then you can use the stones on the outside. Black still has to figure out how they're gonna save it, and then maybe you can turn this way, make territory over here, or play here and try and make something in the center, this kind of thing. So instead I play over here, which is okay, but it's more aggressive because what it means is that black can split. And so this is the thing when you're playing against aggressive players. You need to make sure, like, for instance, when you're looking at the game reviews I'm doing with my students right now at my local Go club, you'll see that at 9 stones, they shouldn't be trying to attack me as white, or at least not out the gate. They should be making the strong shape first, and then when the weakness is very visibly there, then they should strike. Like, it goes in that order. You form a fist before striking, and if you do, like, once again, if you don't form that fist, then what are you trying to do? So the same thing is true against aggressive players. Don't fall into their antics. Play strong shape, and by that I mean staying connected, having high amounts of liberties, and not playing in ways that the shape can become weak and exploited. And I know that that's a bit vague, and that's part of the game. Like, you need to know how to do that in the sense of that's a skill. It's not easy to explain that, and you learn that through experience. So okay, black plays this Hane, and this makes this shape, the strong shape here, which is okay. And then I play this Atari, and then I play this Atari over here. I mean, here that's really not really necessary. So I'll say just surround black, and if they try and live like this, then, well, I mean, you can capture this over here. Black still needs to live, and then you can play this one. And if black doesn't, then maybe you can try and go for the kill, something like this. But, okay. And then here. So, like, the issue is, once again, don't play directly near the opponent's stone. So if you looked at the previous one, it's strangling the opponent. You don't want to strangle, because then black can play this push and then cut, and then maybe it's not so easy, then white has to extend. Now there's this weak group over here, and there's this cutting point, or maybe there's this Atari and connect and coming out. Now there's these 2 things here, and now white is firmly behind enemy lines. So, you know, this is once again like the way in which the shape gets weak. You know, if we play this way, and if we just play over here, we can even let black capture this. And now, once again, like, if we stand back, you can see how the shape solidifies. So don't, when you see the aggressive players, like just keep calm and just play the strong shape, and you do that by stepping back, counting your liberties, and making sure that you're not playing these really thin moves basically. Like you don't need to get everything. So here, despite it all, I'm able to connect solidly, and this is a strong shape now, so that's okay. And here there's this ko, but one thing is that, just play away. Imagine if black wins the ko. Say you play 2 moves. Does black really gain anything? This is endgame here. Not like this, like this. So black has given up 2 moves to get this endgame, and once again, if you're following the series, you'll know that these moves on the outside are worth way more. So this is still a problem at 17q. But okay, I play the ko, black connects, I connect, and they connect. It's completely not necessary. If you just play this way, then yeah, the stone just gets captured, so that's not necessary. And here, this is actually quite an interesting move. So here, if you just play on the outside like this, then you can just net this stone and it's automatically dead. But here I play a little bit further away. This is a bit of a high-level idea. The idea is, like, I don't want to connect, and so I'm going to play around them and force them to play on the outside, and maybe I make this group strong, and so I never have to waste a stone connecting, because even if they cut, they might just be captured like this. That is captured, right? So like this, maybe... Okay, maybe... can't do it this way, so it has to come this way, and then here... And now white's really strong over here, and this is going to make itself known. Wait, extend. Atari. Wait. No, yeah, don't extend, but come this way. And now the thickness becomes apparent. All this is to say that white is really strong here, and so black shouldn't be playing very close to it. The proverb is to play away from thickness. So black ignores that and plays too close to it, and white totally doesn't have to connect here, so this is totally okay. But what I would say is that against a stronger player, this isn't so bad. Like, it's a little bit of a mistake. It's not the best, but now white is also like completely connected, and this great shape here is still weak. Like, you can still keep this separated. This is still floating and under attack. So it's like the proverb is even a fool connects against a peep, and the reason why is because here it's just a little bit slow. Like, only at like top level play or maybe like down level play is this really slow enough to be an issue. Yeah, so here basically I'm doing what I mentioned, and I play this tiger's mouth, but I can play here and play broken shape. So once again, if you're a new player, then just look out for these broken shapes. You'll start tearing your opponents apart, really. Here, and then once again, you can just tear through, but okay, I didn't tear through. You don't always have to believe your opponent. Like, if black cuts, then what next? Maybe you can Atari or something, but fundamentally, black is the weakest group here, and so that's the one that matters. So here I connect, and then black plays his Hane. So this gets interesting now. Pay attention to white's liberties here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. So, okay, maybe we were strong and we didn't have to connect at 4, but if black separates, then this is slowly becoming a tricky position. So I play this Hane, and black is once again shorting the liberties. He's just paying... This is like somebody who just finished playing on the 9x9 board and just moved up to the 19x19 board or something. So, what did I say? Yeah, I can play this cut and play over here. And the idea is that black can't come out. Like, if they try this way, then black is immediately going to get captured, and there's no way to capture these stones here. Or, this is a move that you play when you're strong. You can't play that now, so you play here, and white can play over here. Black has to be careful to not get surrounded, so there's that. And then if black moves too quickly, then there's this wedge, and now black is still too thin. So we can see that on both sides here. So, yeah, okay, this cut is working, that's fine. But I play on this side, black plays this liberty, I play this Hane, and now it gets a cut. Now, okay, we're down to 2 liberties. And I think I've missed this point. As embarrassing as it is to say, I think I've missed this point for my entire Go playing career. But, okay, so now we got this cut, and then I have Tanuki, because if I can just play over here or something, that would be good. Or I can play over here, and once again, this problem still exists. And so if black can't like play in here right away, so he needs to approach, and then I can just continue. Even if there's this Atari or this Atari, I mean, like, the net isn't working, the ladder isn't working, so that's a good thing to check. But I can Atari from this direction instead. It's difficult because as the shape becomes worse, it becomes harder and harder to defend. So the answer is a bit just like take this double Atari or just take this Atari and then continue, or, you know, can we play over here? So yeah, there are a lot of ways to handle this. So here, and then I play far away, and that's not good. I mean, it's fine because we have this Atari. Like, it's, once again, it depends on who's, like, this is the difference between an aggressive and a calm time player. Whose weakness are you focusing on? If you're focusing on white and you're saying, oh, they have 2 liberties, then yeah, fine, but like, white can tear through. So as a calm type player, you'd recognize your own weakness first and connect, and then play like this. This is the difference. So, okay. Here, there's this Atari, capture, and then I think, even now, I think, yeah, okay, white is fine, and I make this Atari, and then there's this Ko. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have to connect, and then there's this, and then white has lost. And I think that's really amazing. Like, I can't imagine that. It's so crazy, because the truth, like, black looks so weak, but the truth is that white has 2 liberties in here. So with this Atari, it becomes a Ko. And you can try and, like, start the Ko. You can't finish the Ko because you're going to get captured. So yeah, this is really amazing. So, okay, I get captured and I resign the game. So this is so once again, this is like a really great game to review, because this shows the problem. But I mean, I start with this. We'll see as I keep doing these videos. How often am I gonna have this problem? A lot is the answer. This is like the problem I've had the entire time. But yeah, so just staying connected is not necessarily a bad thing, because then you don't have to worry, and then your opponent is weak. The thinness of your opponent's shape will reveal themselves when you solidify. And it's so awkward, because I am the kind of player who would solidify, because I'm focusing on my own weaknesses. But somehow I'm also not doing that, because I'm also getting into the weeds and playing just as ridiculously as my opponent. So yeah, this is a good game to review. You really learn a lot from this one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to uploading this. I can make some real clickbait with this. And yeah, if you enjoy this content, then like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoy the way how I review games, send me your games so that we can look at other games that aren't my own. Until then, I'll just be reviewing my own games like a sad little boy, and I will see you all in the next video.